Now to discuss this economic downturn unraveling under Joe Biden's watch is Republican strategist Rory McShane. Rory, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we know the official definition of recession, 2 negative quarters of GDP, but the White House they're not having it. Why not just recognize it and find a solution?
Because that would be the death nail in the November elections for the Democrats. We're already expected to have Republican gains in the House, probably the Republican takeover of the House. If the Biden administration were to admit that they have failed the American worker, failed the American family, and failed the American business owner by allowing us to go into recession, it would be a red wave like no one has ever seen. So they have to continue to spin this. They have to continue to fiddle as Rome burns.
So we just pretend like it's not happening, although the American people, they're not buying it.
Well, I would go further than that. Not only are they pretending like it's not happening, we're seeing this bill today that the administration and Senator Manchin have agreed on that makes it worse, that penalizes the most productive class of Americans, that penalizes small and middle business owners, that is going to cause irreparable harm to our economy. So not only are they ignoring it, they're actively adding to and prolonging this recession.
Yeah, the reason we got here is because of excessive government spending. Now the Inflation Reduction Act, which is what you're talking about, is on the table, and it would hike corporate taxes, fight so-called climate change, also raise personal income taxes on those making $400,000 or more. Is this the right time to tighten on this fiscal side?
Well, there's never a right time to do this, but doing it right now is absolutely insane, right? Somebody who makes $400,000 a year has a moderately successful business that's probably growing, probably in a middle stage with 15 to 20 employees, and they could be adding new locations, hiring new people. But instead, we're penalizing those people, and what that's going to force them to do is to contract their businesses, to shutter doors, close locations. So we're adding more unemployment, which is going to lead to more unemployment claims, which is going to lead to more government printing. I mean, this is evidence of the fact that this is even in the realm of consideration is evidence of the fact that someone like Joe Biden has never had a real job, has lived his entire life on a taxpayer salary, and his family is completely supported by taxpayer salary. This is so far from economic reality, it mirrors Atlas Shrugged.
Yeah, these people who are going to be taxed, should they be paying for the administration's mistakes? I mean, when you live in places like California, New York, that money doesn't go far enough. Yes, $400,000 is a lot of money, but it's also very expensive to live. And you're talking about small business owners, too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Again, if we're not talking about people who make $20 million a year, we're talking about someone who might have a couple of Pizza Hut franchises or something like that. We're talking about small to middle business owners are people in that income bracket. Penalizing companies that are creating jobs that are profitable in a recession is, I mean, I would argue that it's unheard of. I mean, this is so backwards. It's beyond recall, really.
You know, Rory, remember when the White House denied that we would have high inflation? It was just transitory. You know, they said, Biden even went as far as quoting data saying a spike in inflation was highly unlikely. Fast forward to now, it seems like they're playing the same game of distraction.
Well, that's all they can do, right? I mean, the Joe Biden presidency has led to middle-class American families literally not being able to put gas in their car. It has led to the weakest position geopolitically that we've ever been in, the weakest position economically we've been in since the Jimmy Carter presidency. So all they can do is distract. Right. And the American people are fed up with the January 6th commission nonsense. They're not being distracted by that anymore. They're fed up with mandates and shutdowns. They're not being distracted by that anymore. So now they have to change the topic again and hope that they can change it before the November election. I mean, in real dollars, our economy has lost $223 billion. I mean, that is the actual hard dollar cost of the policies of the Biden administration. And unless they are able to pull the biggest fast one in front of the American people ever, they are going to feel the consequences of the anger of the American family at the polls in November, and they're doing everything they can to prevent that from happening.
You know, you mentioned energy prices. There's actually expectations that energy prices can go even higher in the winter season. You know, expensive gas has already hurt all of us here. What do you think? You think it's going to get worse? Like in California, I mean, well, close to $7 a gallon. You know, we might see, what, $10?
Yep. No, absolutely. I mean, I live in Texas, which traditionally has the lowest gas prices in the country, and $4 and $5 gas prices are not uncommon at all. And I absolutely think it will get worse. The energy market is based on speculation. So when you have the United States Senate introducing bills that promote untested and uneconomically viable energy and penalize energy producers, the speculation is going to be nothing but negative. And our president is begging Saudi Arabia for oil, is selling our strategic reserves to China, but American energy producers are hurting. Their leases are canceled. Their pipelines are shut down. I mean, go to West Texas, right? I mean, it's there's nothing going on in these huge areas of America that have the ability to feed the American energy need. So I absolutely think it's going to get worse. But again, when you have a president and quite frankly a whole administration that is staffed by latte drinkers from California, Berkeley, who've never worked in a business, you can't expect anything else.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like anything is going to get better anytime soon. I like the analogy, latte workers from Berkeley, California. I just had the vision there. It's not, I mean, it's funny, but this whole situation, it's not funny. Americans are suffering.
It's, it's saddest I'm fortunate to do fairly well, and a lot of us are, and for me this hurts when I look at my retirement account, right? But that's something that's livable and doesn't hurt day to day. Who this hurts day to day are the people who now literally have trouble making it to work, who the $200 they budgeted a week for their groceries for a family of four doesn't get them through anymore. The people whom basic life necessities are now taking up their entire paycheck, so they can't put money away to pay for kids' college, to start a business, to move themselves up the economic mobility ladder. These are the people that this kills. And it is a sad time in America that the president's response to middle-class families not being able to afford basic necessities is not to encourage business owners or jobs. It's to buckle at the feet of Ocasio-Cortez and the radical liberals in the Democratic Party.
These are tough times. No matter how the White House tries to spin it, it's not working. Rory McShane, Republican strategist, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.